We welcome you to the webinar, sir. I now request Dr. Swati Jain, ma'am, Head Outreach DME, to introduce sir to the participants and moderate the discussion further.
Thank you, Ms. Rowley. As we all know, that the current COVID situation has cast very serious implications on the global economy. And this is impacting the career options for the professionals also. DME, through its various webinar series in the past 1.5 months, has been trying to showcase or highlight or bring to the participants many aspects of all these things. So, in line with our motto of providing information or getting knowledge to the people, we have today with us Mr. Mohit Nasa. Sir is Associate Director with Infosys at Hong Kong and has been handling the top line and bottom line for the Infosys flagship product, Finacle, in Southeast and North Asia. He had joined Infosys and has worked for Wipro Limited and Cisco in India prior to this. Sir is an engineering and a management graduate from reputed institutions in India. I'll request Mohit sir to kindly address the audience. Ms. Rowley, you will require to make sir the co-host so that he can share his screen.
Okay.
Ma'am, he has already been made the co-host. He can share his screen now.
Sir,
I'll mute and
your screen.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Rowley and Miss Swati. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, let me share my screen first, and thanks for the quick introduction. Um, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Let me better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to thank DME management for inviting me as a keynote speaker on this COVID topic, which is a buzzword today. And not only in India, but of course, globally, everyone is talking about it, but of course, not in a positive way. But yeah, people are worried, corporates are worried, so everyone is worried about this topic. And I really feel honored and privileged to be here with you today. And it is therefore with humility that I approach with my topic today. We are really going to enjoy this time we spent together this afternoon, and I'm going to share with you some of the most important ideas that have ever been discovered on this topic. And together, as I said, we are facing a truly unprecedented situation. The global coronavirus pandemic is affecting all our families, the businesses, communities, and other way, the life has been impacted big time. So it reminds me a beautiful quote, even the darkest night will end the sun, right? Which means every coin has two sides. So of course, I assume that this thing will get passed on quickly and we will be back to normal, but not to new normal, but back to normal, right? And of course, we all are very well aware what is happening around us. As I said, not only in India, but globally. And but I don't want to get into the numbers. What are the current COVID? How many patients are there? How many are getting recovered? But it has largely impact almost all the industries in India, right? And the most affected industry in India is auto industry, followed by the pharma industry and electronics and tourism, right? So tourism has been affected very badly. So, but the good news is that the sectors like IT, information technology, education, banking, okay, they are the least affected sectors. So IT alone, information technology alone contributes almost 8% of the total GDP, the national GDP. So at this time when, the entire world is grappling with COVID, our Indian IT companies like Infosys, Wipro, HCL, Tech Mahindra, they are hiring in bulk. And I remember, in March 2020, when COVID just started in India, Infosys alone hired 8,000 fresh graduates, right? So if you know a little bit more about Infosys, so we have a big training campus in Mysore, which can train 20,000 graduates at given point in time. So So yeah, so there are many factors which are affected by COVID, but at the same time, there are ways or the innovations are also happening at the same time. So there are few the success factors for the management professionals, guys like you. So since you guys are from business background, and I assume most of you will become a great business leader tomorrow. So what are those factors that contribute to the business success, right? So the short answer, if you ask me, is a great team, a great a decision, and of course a good work. So these three the factors together can drive the success for any management professional. But to the long answer of the same the success factor is discipline, strong leadership, strategic planning, powerful decisions, effective communication, customer feedback, and continuous improvement. So these are some of the factors which I personally believe that for any successful professional, this should have all these a good factors or the success factors. So success doesn't just find you, you have to go out and get it, right? So discipline, right? So discipline, I think, irrespective whether you are in a as a management professional or a doctor or an engineer or whatever, doesn't matter. If you are not disciplined, believe me, you will face a lot of challenges in your life, right? So when I talk about discipline, you should come in the meeting on time, you should log into the online meetings on time, you should if you have given time to somebody, you should be very disciplined. So time is money, right? That's very simple funda of almost all the entrepreneurs today. So please be disciplined in your life, bring discipline, and success will follow you. Simple, right? Then the second factor is a strong leadership. So here I should quote the example of Mr. Narayan Murthy, right? So I assume that everybody knows Mr. Narayan Murthy. He's a founder of Infosys Limited. I am again and again I'm taking Infosys as an example because I've been working here and I know the culture, the ethics, the transparencies, the values which Infosys is carrying today, right? So I was talking about Mr. Narayan Murthy. So there were 7 leaders straight out from the college, freshers. They decided to establish a company, the IT company, Indian IT company, with a very big vision, right? And they just had a capex or the initial funding of $250 at that point in time, and they have opened the office. That was a very small office in Pune, and today Infosys is a $13 billion organization. That is purely reflects the strong leadership, right? So people like Nandan Nilekani, I'm sure you guys must be aware about him. People like Gopala Krishnan, NRN, Narayan Murthy. So because of the great leadership today, we can see what Infosys is, right? So we are one of the the largest IT organization in India with more than 2 lakh employees globally. Then the strategic planning. So strategic planning and powerful decision, these are the two factors which are very, very close to each other, right? They are very closely linked to each other. And for this, I have prepared one caselet, which I'm going to demonstrate to you in next couple of minutes. And that caselet is mostly talking about Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Again, he's the Indian entrepreneur, and everybody knows him. So I'm going to talk about the strategic planning and the powerful decisions which Mr. Ambani has taken. And today, the Reliance has become a debt-free organization after launching Reliance Jio, and they have got so many the investments. So I'm going to talk about that caselets in next few minutes from now. Then the effective communication. This again, personally, I believe is a very important factor, because if you are not an effective communicator, right, then in that case, personally, I have seen a lot of projects gets failed. I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs, they have a very great ideas, but they failed because the communication was not very effective, right? If you have something, but you can't demonstrate those capabilities or skills to outside world, then that is just a junk, right? So you have to be very, effectively a good communication guys, so that you can explain yourself, you can demonstrate yourself, so that people can appreciate your skill sets. then the customer feedback, right? If you are in a business, then the customer feedback is a key, right? See, today, why Apple is an Apple, right? So when everybody is talking about, you know, Samsung, Oppo, you know, ZTE, this phone, that phone, but still Apple is, you know, is a market leader, right? You know, so that's a simple reason, because they keep on getting the customer feedback, right? And they keep on improving on the design or whatever is a fault in the previous version, right? So Apple 6, Apple 7, or iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 11 or 10 or whatever, right? So they are there, they are the market leaders because they keep on getting the customer feedback and they work on it. See, there are two things. One, you just take the feedback and just forget about it, right? But if you honestly working on those feedback, whether it's a positive feedback or a negative feedback, take it with a right spirit and put it back in your product, that can make you a right professional or a right you know, a management guy. And that's how, you know, companies are growing today. So this is a case study which I was talking about. So this case study is very local, which means so Reliance Jio, everybody, you know, knows about this this organization. Um, so here is a snapshot, right? So first of all, you know, hats off to Mr. Ambani. So far, if we know that, you know, Reliance Jio, when everybody in India, outside world was grappling with COVID-19, Mr. Ambani has a different plan. So in flat 58 days, Mr. Ambani received an investment of 13.49 billion US dollar, right? Which is equivalent to 115,693 crores in INR, right? So when entire world was grappling and this guy was just trying to mint money, right? So there were 11 investors, and the largest investor among those 11 were, you know, the Facebook, right? Mr. Zuckerberg, right? So how did, you know, Mr. Ambani convinced him to invest in his company, Mark Zuckerberg, right? So he knew that, you know, in India, the population is what, 1.3 billion, and out of 1.3 billion, 500,000 people are using smartphone, right? And we guys are, I mean, Indians, we prefer, you know, the online shopping, online grocery shopping, medicine, this and that. And that's the reason, you know, WhatsApp from Facebook and Reliance Jio, right? They shook their hand, and they can now, believe me, next couple of years, they will become number one online or the e-commerce player. I'm sure they are going to beat companies like Walmart or Amazon of the world, right? So they are going to lead the pack. And also, if you read the news today, it's a very latest news. Today, you know, Mr. Ambani has got 12th investment from a capital investment called Intel Capital, right? Which is again some 2,000 crore rupees. No, sorry, not 2,000. It is actually, if I'm not wrong, it is, yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it is more than 2,000 crore INR. Right. So now in total, there are 12 investors in Reliance Jio, and Reliance as a group, they have become net debt free. And so my point is, you know, so when people are grappling, Mr. Ambani was making money, right? So that's how we should be. We should not look from the negative side of any situation. See, situation comes and go, right? But we have to be very positive. We have to take every situation as a challenge. If it is a negative situation, take it as a challenge and try to come out from it, right? Either by inventing something or adjust yourself in those negative situations. But of course, if it is positive situation, then we should not become arrogant, right? So we should be, we should control ourselves in a way that we should be, look very neutral, whatever be the situation, right? So, you know, I request, because you all guys are management students, so please go back to your home, research more about, you know, Reliance Jio, what was their model, when did they, you know, start this model, and how did they get, you know, this much amount of 13 billion US dollar amount of investment, right, in flat 58 days. So there is something which very intelligent minds are behind all these, you know, success stories. Otherwise, Mr. Ambani would be a common guy like you and me, right? But today he has become the, of course, India's largest, the richest person. But of course, behind this, there is a lot of good leadership and the strong decisions he has taken. And that's why today he's number one. So again, there are few suggestions, especially in this COVID time. So, so you should trust science more than emotions. So don't look any situation with your emotions. Trust the science, right? So today, we have seen a lot of good global pharma companies. They are trying to invent a vaccine to cure COVID, right? But at the same time, we have Patanjali, which is a pure Indian, a Indian group, who is also trying to get something, right? So don't get into rumors. Put your intelligence and try to figure out what is right, what is wrong, right? But if you get into the fake news because of the social media, everyone is so information has become a commodity nowadays, right? If you need any information, just go to Google and find it out, right? So don't get into rumors and the fake news. Try to keep yourself away, otherwise you will keep on losing your positive energy and keep on getting the negative energy. And secondly, we don't have a control on the macro environment, right? So when I say macro environment, meaning the outside world. So what is happening, whether it is COVID, SARS, or whatever be the micro environment, we have absolutely no control. So we have to be mentally very strong, and we have to be ready for whatever be the situation, the extreme situation. So COVID, especially in India, has become an extreme situation. However, in Hong Kong, in Singapore, they have controlled COVID very beautifully. Today, if you ask me, in Hong Kong, there is no new case coming up has come up in last 1 month. All schools are open, malls are open, movie theaters are open, everything is open, right? But of course, the population is small, the density is very high in Hong Kong, same in Singapore, but they have controlled it because they are mentally strong. And of course, their immune system is not as strong as Indians, right? So because we eat so many chatpata and all, so our immune system is far better as compared to these Chinese people or Hong Kongers, but still they have managed to come out from this, the tough time. And believe me, see, this is a time wherein you can reskill yourself, right? So when I say reskill, see, every person has its own individual identity. Nobody is right, nobody is wrong. Everyone is, has its own viewpoint, and everybody has its own strengths and weaknesses. So this is a time wherein you can, try to identify your interest area, right? Suppose today you are a business student, and but your interest is in some different, different field altogether, right? So this is a time, right? You can spend as much time with yourself. See, of course, in this time you have to spend time with your family, but try to spend time with yourself. That will really help you to identify your real skill set, your strengths, weaknesses. So, and of course, if there is any weakness, try to work on those weaknesses. Believe me, today you guys are student, and I was there. I was just like you 15 years back. But in last 15 years, I have learned a lot. Of course, life has made me learn, but personally also, I am, I'm very keen to learn new things, whether it's outside world or myself. So outside world, of course, there are many ways, there are many channels, but inside what you are, you have to identify yourself. Nobody is going to help you. So try to spend time with yourself, and and try to identify the exact skills or the interest area of yours. And let me give you another a very a candid candid feedback, that if you guys are not, you don't have a reading habit, try to inculcate the reading habit. Because reading is something, whether it's a journal or a novel or a book or magazine, whatever, try to spend at least 20 to 30 minutes on reading. For example, if you go, if any of you have been to Australia, right? So the literacy rate in Australia is almost 100%, right? Which means even a beggar, right? You will find him reading a novel or a book while begging. Of course, they don't call it as a beggar, they call them as a, the homeless person or homeless people. But the common thing you will find across all homeless people are that they are educated, and they read a lot, whether it's a Prime Minister of Australia or a beggar or a homeless guy, right? So please make a reading habit. That is very essential and important. So of course, as I said, every coin has two sides. So of course, COVID has, more negative sides than positive. But let us look at the positive side, right, of COVID. So as I said, try to spend as much time as you can with your nears and dear, with your family, with your brother, sister, neighbors, or whosoever, and also try to spend time with yourself. That will really help you in short to near, short or midterm kind of, planning what you will do. Then of course, being hygienic is no longer just an habit, right? So you have to be hygienic if you want to save yourself from COVID. So you have to be hygienic every time, right? Uh, from the innovation perspective, again, there is a new news about Reliance Jio. So today, as a part of innovation, they have launched Jio Meet, right, which is same like Zoom or WebEx or Skype, right, or Microsoft Teams. So Reliance is also getting into these virtual meetings platform called Jio Meet, right? So this is an innovation in the COVID time or in a tough time. Whenever a tough time comes, people become more innovative, right? So that's how, so this is a positive side, of the COVID. Then for those, of course, who are invested or who are following the stock market, they must have realized that blue chip stocks, right, are the safest stock. Of course, their movement are very slow, but in a long term, they are the one who will not at least doom you, right? So of course, I am not a stock market specialist, but my suggestion is somebody is following stock market, so try to balance your portfolio between penny accounts or small to medium to the large blue chip companies, right? Of course, now remote working has now become a new normal, right? So everybody, earlier we used to spend, at least when I was in India, I'm from Delhi, by the way. So whenever I used to travel from Delhi to Gurgaon, it used to take 1.5 hours in the morning, 1.5 hours in the evening. So 3 hours, I used to spend in traffic on roads. But with this new normal, right? So people have started working from home, right? So companies like Facebook, Amazon, they have informed their employees no need to come to office, work from home until 2021, right? So this has become a new normal, which saves you a lot of energy, right? You need not to spend that much time in traffic and so on and so forth. Of course, real estate market has become kind of flat. Of course, in India, the real estate market is unorganized, but I think this has now become, I'll not say very economical, but yeah, I think this is the right time to invest in the properties because properties have come down. And lastly, the online classes have become a new normal. Education institutions, it has become very, very pocket friendly. If somebody would like to go to Harvard or any great universities in US or Europe, so their fees have also come down just because they are not going to spend face-to-face lectures and all. So they're just going to hire great professors online, and they're going to they're going to make you the MBA or BBA or whatever, right, online. So this has become a kind of a positive out from COVID, right? So these are few of the the positive factors of COVID. So that's it from my side. So I am open for any questions if you guys have any. And yeah. So Miss Swati, over to you, please.
Yes, sir. So thank you for that, specific pinpointed highlights of what the COVID is, changing globally and how the various companies are adapting to it. Now, there is a general perception, sir, that in the post-COVID era, the technology-driven companies will be more successful, or the professionals who are into the technology domain will be more successful in comparison to the ones who are into, directly management domains. So do you see something of that kind which will be reflected in the near future or in the post-COVID era?
Yeah, see, I'll tell you, if we take an example of Wipro, right, Wipro Limited. So in this COVID time, they have hired a new CEO, right? So which means during COVID, so let's not talk about post-COVID, during COVID, so management people are getting hired, right? So companies like Wipro, or I'm sure same kind of hiring at C level are happening all over the world, right? So it doesn't matter whether you are a technologist or you are from the business side. See, at the end of the day, both has a dependency upon each other. So technologists can't sell their technology if there is no business guy. If there is no business, then business will not buy technology, right? But similarly, so if business is not there, no technology, and if there is no technology, there is no business, right? So why Mr. Ambani is getting into new eras, right? So today, Mr. Ambani has bought the entire Future Group from Kishore Biyani, right? So which means technology and business goes hand in hand. But of course, if somebody is a technologist plus with business mindset, that's the best combination, in the post-COVID era.
Okay. So, sir, I mean, see, whenever normally we discuss, we say that a combination of management and technical, qualifications, they serve the students better. So, do you agree with that sort of a thing, that a combination of technology and management? You yourself are a technology.
Exactly. Yeah. So I accept that fact, but
Yeah.
see, at the same time, see, again, I'll tell you, it doesn't matter whether you are technologist, you are not. See, as I said, information has now become a commodity today, right? If today a doctor would like to learn about C or C++ as a language, a computer language, it's not very difficult for him or her to understand that language, right? So as I said in my previous slides, that reskill yourself. Don't restrict yourself to one skill. If you are a doctor, but if you believe that you can't work on a laptop or a higher technology, then this is wrong, which means you are restricting yourself. Try to expand your mindset with a broader avenues. If you are a doctor, try to learn technology. If you are business, try to learn maybe something else, right? If you are a technologist, try to learn how people are doing business. As I said, Mr. Ambani is minting money, right? So if I go back and give the same lecture to a BTech guy, a BTech student, a bachelor technology student, then that will really excite him, that being in technology, how Mr. Ambani is making money. So he has more interest to understand the business. So business is, see, everyone is a businessman today. If you go to buy a television or a whatever, right, you negotiate. That is a one quality of a businessman. You have to take a right decision. You go to any E-zone, for example, you want to buy a air conditioner, right? So there are multiple air conditioner of Volta, Samsung, this and that, but you are making a decision. So that making a decision has nothing to do with your background, whether you have a business background or you have a technology background, right? So in my view, every person has all the capabilities. It's just upon us how we can flourish those or how we can reskill ourselves. We have to identify what is my strength. That's it.
That's very correctly said, sir, that most of us, in fact, not most of us, all of us have different skill sets. Only thing is that we need to retune them as per the latest market conditions, or as per the latest economical conditions. Sir, in this situation, see, this is a very situation that none of us in this generation had imagined would come to us. 4 months of lockdown is one thing in a technology-driven global scenario. Sounds something like a dream which will suddenly get over and we'll be in a free COVID world, but actually it is not going to happen. There will actually be a new normal in the coming future. So which are the various sectors which you think will be more promising in comparison to the other sectors, or some of the sectors that you think will take a downturn, or some ones that will be uplifted during the coming times?
Yeah, very good question. See, in my view, again, this is my personal view. Maybe people have a different viewpoint. In my view, banking sector is something which is always evergreen, right? So why it is evergreen? Because the economy of any country, right, depends upon their banking industry. For example, in India, SBI, PNB, HDFC, ICICI, if you go to their, even during COVID time, these guys were working, right? Of course, in a rotational shifts, but these people were working, which means without banking, we can't survive. Okay. And when there was a Notebandi, right? Whatever in 2014, 15, 16, right? So everybody was, it was a big thing for all Indians, for all of us, right? Because, we were not ready for that kind of change. So to cut the long answer short, again, in my view, banking sector is something which is evergreen.
Okay. So any other sectors, like we say that the online, marketing sector or the online sales sector is, picking up very fast.
Yes, very true. So online sector is nothing but a e-commerce. I assume you're talking about e-commerce, right? So you can see, this from Flipkart days, right? So Flipkart, Mr. Bansal. So earlier, Sachin Bansal and Mukesh Bansal, they were friends in, so they used to work in Amazon, right? So they have learned that how Amazon is doing an e-commerce business. Then they came to India. They started their own organization called Flipkart, and today everybody, I think, out of, as I said, 1.3 billion population, 500,000 people have a smartphone, right? And I assume that out of 500,000, 250 or 200 million people are doing online shopping, and that is the sole reason why Mr. Mukesh Ambani has tied up with WhatsApp from Facebook, and why today he has bought the entire Futures Group from Kishore Biani, right? So just try to connect these dots, right? So one way he is shaking a hand with technology vendor called WhatsApp, right? Because WhatsApp has, I assume, is more than 200 million customers in India. Similarly, on the other hand, Mr. Ambani is buying a retail store called Futures Group, right? So which means after 2 years down the line, or maybe 1 year down the line, they still become a triangle. So Mr. Ambani would be in a middle, and he will connect all the dots with business and the technology, right? So tomorrow, those days are not away when you will start, if you want to, place an order, not from Big Basket, which is again a Chinese, Chinese invested a company, but maybe in a very near future, you will see you can buy whatever, medicines, grocery, fruit, shop, whatever, right? You can buy anything and everything from your WhatsApp, and of course, Big Bazaar and whatever, right? So you can buy everything. So e-commerce has a great business, no doubt about it.
And so there's difference between, see, when we talk about the e-commerce industry and when we talk about the retail industry, the brick and mortar retail industry, obviously they have been posing a lot of competition to each other. But then in the recent COVID era, while the brick and mortar industry served as the backbone of the system, when the online industry was not operating, at least in India, we'll say that the e-commerce industry was, stagnant for a while, and the आपका जो routine retail structure है, that was working. So how do these two industries in the current era, I mean, what are the chances or what are the situations in which they'll flourish? Or obviously the e-commerce industry is going to flourish. What about the brick and mortar or retail?
Yeah, very good question again. This is Swati or somebody else, Roli?
So these are a couple of participants who have asked the questions.
So let me give you another example. Of course, one example is retail, wherein earlier we used to have a brick and mortar, and now we are getting into e-commerce, right? So that's a movement, right? That's a movement from brick and mortar to the e-commerce. So I will come to this point, but before that, let me give you another example. So banking industry, right? We have banks like PNB, SBI, ICICI, and they have lot of branches all over the world, all over India, right? Now this banking sector is also making a shift, right? Which means you need not, of course, they have already taken a shift. Earlier, 7 years, 10 years down the line, people used to go to bank branch to taking a receipt or the advice. If you want to make a FD, you have to go to the branch. If you want to take a, what you call that, passbook, you have to go to the branch. For everything, you have to go to the branch. But now what is happening through your internet banking, mobile banking, right? You can open your FD, you can get your advice, you can get your passbook, you can make your saving account, this account, that account. So which means in the banking industry also, there is a shift happening from brick and mortar to the digital banking. We call it as a digital banking, right? Now so this is a one example, right? So now coming back to your example, of course, you are right. Brick and mortar gonna be there. They are not going to vanish, but the number of branches of Big Bazaar will come down drastically, right? Why do you, if suppose today, I will give you an app wherein you can order everything. Then why will you on weekend, Saturday, Sunday, after working from Monday to Friday, who will like to go to Big Bazaar, for the shopping, then stand in a queue, billing, this and that? Nobody would like that, right? But of course, those people who don't want to, who are not technology savvy, right? Who wants to still go to the bank branch, like people who are 70 plus, right? if some uncle would like to go to the bank branch, I mean, he will go. He will never use internet banking or mobile banking. So banking industry is one example, and this what you said is another example. So both gonna be there, but of course, over a period of time, brick and mortar will come down drastically, and this the e-commerce or digital banking will go up. So this is just a movement from brick mortar to digital, or that is again because of technology.
Sir, in that case, as you say that if the brick and mortar store is going to go down, the entire sector is going to go down, then this will lead to a strong question on the recruitment or the employment scenario also, because these retail stores are a major employer, are a very good employer. So, and currently, say you said that there's, yes, Infosys has hired, and this all these companies are hiring in between. But then we also heard in between that Cognizant has fired approximately 18,000 employees who were on bench.
Correct. That today's news. So Cognizant has hired, and there is a what you call union, employee union in Karnataka, and they have claimed something to Cognizant in Karnataka. I totally appreciate and understand that. See, but again, you have to understand one thing. If again, it is again upon you whether you want to work in a IT company or still you want to work in the big bazaar, for example, right? So as you said, if the big bazaar brick mortar shops will come down, it will lead to the unemployment, right? But I have the same question, that if that will lead to the unemployment, which means the person who are working there, they have to reskill yourself, right? Life is not going to end there. If tomorrow, whatever big bazaar will close 10 stores and 20 people are working there, so 200 people gonna be unemployed, right? But to make them employed again, they have to work on their skills again. You and me can't tell them to reskill themselves. So that is again, today we are you guys are students, you have to take a call. What is your interest area? What is your strength? And then you have to make a call. What is the right way to move on? See, anything can happen. Even CEO of a big organization can fired in a day. I have seen many ample cases in my lifetime of 15 years, whatever I spent in corporate world. I have seen people, the CEOs of the world, they got fired in a night just because of one mistake. But it doesn't mean that world is going to end for them, right? Even in Infosys, we got Dr. Vishal Sikka in 2014, right? He was an ex. So if you guys are aware about SAP HANA, that's one of the product from SAP, right? So Mr. Dr. Vishal Sikka was he was a father of that, the SAP HANA. Then we Infosys hired him as a global CEO in 2014, and 2016 we asked him to leave, right? Because of whatever reason. So bad things can happen anytime, but we should be mentally prepared for any bad things to happen, or to cope up with any bad situation.
Sir, I'd like to take one last question, and that is, many of these IT giants, they are now opting for mandatory work from home conditions for next 5 years, 7 years, or even so. So in this stage, again, the question arises that apart from the other sectors, the real estate sector will also be hit, because many of the offices will be vacated, and and this is a specific thing that has come because of COVID. Prior to this, these companies were not operating on these grounds, but now they have opted for work from home situations.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, Swati, what will happen, because I worked in Infosys, so I know how Infosys work, and similarly, all other companies, be it Accenture or Cognizant or whatever, they also work in the same way. See, if somebody is claiming that, and especially IT companies, if they are claiming that all of their employees or maximum of their employees are going to work from home, that is not going to happen. For a simple reason, suppose Infosys is a client, because see how Infosys work, they are purely into services business, right? If tomorrow DME would like to, outsource your data center to any organization, so say you want to outsource your data center to Infosys, right? So first of all, when you will outsource, or any other company can outsource their IT business to Infosys, so first of all, they will expect a lot of people from Infosys, maybe in thousands, that those people should come and sit in that particular office. For example, HSBC, right? HSBC has given a job to Infosys stating that you should manage my data center. Now, HSBC is such a huge bank. they need 10,000 employees from Infosys who should station at Infosys HSBC office. That is point number one. Now on the offshore, meaning, so HSBC is on site, then the offshore, meaning from Infosys office, we have to manage the same skill sets of people who will do or who will provide the offshore support to HSBC, right? So this is a model of on-site and offshore. So those people who are managing HSBC from offshore, they can't work from home because HSBC again is a bank and there is a lot of confidential data, right? Which they can't work on the confidential data sitting in their own home or in the house. For that, they have to come to office and operate. So there is a lot of data confidentiality contract which any IT company signs with their client. You understand? So those people who are doing just a coding, suppose I need to write a code of 10 page, I can write a code whether I am at home or cafe or wherever. But that's a small set of people. The bigger set of people are mostly at the client side, right? Or they are managing the client from offshore sitting in the office. I don't know whether you can correlate this or no, but this is how, you know, any IT company works.
No, this we can understand, sir. I mean, there is a general perception, but what we actually feel is that there is always a other side of the story. It is not only that the work from home scenario will reduce the office space, probably it will modulate the office space. That is what I think. Sir, though I was intending it to be my last, I was taking it to be my last question. There is one question that has popped up. Now, most of these are management graduates or management students who are going, you know, in this webinar. So this student is asking that all that you have discussed is actually posing a threat to the management education. Yes, it is highlighting the IT education or IT sector, but what is the scope for the management students in this current COVID situation? Now, looking into your discussion, this student seems to have,
No, that is not the case. As I said, without business, IT can't survive, and without IT, business can't survive. Okay. So if you are from the business background, leave IT on somebody else who is doing a BTech. And if somebody is doing a BTech, he should not bother about business, right? He should focus on technology. So my point is, if you are in business side, right, you are on a better side, right? So business people, I am also from business side, okay? Business people are like soldiers, right? So when soldiers at NOC or whatever, LOC, right? Then the entire India sleeps well. So you guys or business people are like, for example, they are the front end soldiers. The IT takes a back seat. Now the choice is yours, whether you want to be on a Sarhad or you want to be take a backside and, you know, sit back and relax. But I'll tell you, if you choose the second part, which means you want to write a code, you want to whatever, right? If you want to be on a technology side, that is very laid back way, right? You can't grow. Your salary will get stagnant at some point in time. But if you are in a business side, then there is no limit of your earnings, right? As I said, the front side managers or the front side soldiers, it's a risk and return game, okay? Higher the risk, higher the return. The backside people, HR people, finance people, they sit on the back. They are not client facing, right? At some point in time, their salaries also get stagnant and there is no scope of further growth. So I would like to conclude this question in this way. So this is your choice. You decide whether you want to be on a front side or a back side.
This is actually true, sir. That's a wonderfully explained that yes, no sector is going to die out. There might be role shifts. There might be some situations which may change. And you very correctly said that the management people are going to be the forerunners, as they will be business development officers. They'll be getting the business, and that work will be done probably by the IT people at the back end. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session with, you know, each and every point so properly highlighted and with so much good examples. So on behalf of the entire DME team, I would like to thank you for providing us this wonderful session and the thought-provoking session, plus I'll say encouraging session in the sense that nobody is to be worried, nobody should worry about the future. There is always a brighter side, there is always a side that we need to look upon. So once again, I would like to thank you. And now I would hand over the webinar to Ms. Roli while the guest and myself will leave. Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed an enriching session. I'm sure all our participants will now focus on skill development.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
yeah, in line with this, I would like to share with you that DME is coming up with a 7-day intensive workshop that will be starting from 5th July. And this will be so this will be basically on Microsoft Office tools. So we'll be having a Microsoft certified trainer who will be teaching you different skills of Microsoft. You'll be learning Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Publisher, and a lot of other tools. So you can register yourself for this particular web workshop. All the details are being sent in the chat window. So with this, we come to an end of this webinar. I would now like to thank my entire webinar team, Dr. Swati Jain ma'am, Dr. Purva Ranjan ma'am, my co-host, Miss Parul Grover. Without you all, this webinar was really not possible. Also, last but not the least, I would like to thank my wonderful audience, because without an audience, an event is never actually possible. So thank you for being there. Please stay connected with DME. All the details have been shared in the chat box. Also, we'll be sharing a feedback form with you. Please share your valuable feedback. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sir, we'll now take your leave.
Yeah.